Hi everyone, my name is James Feeney. Welcome to or back to my channel. Today I want to have a little bit of a catch up and chit chat and a rounding out of the month where I go through my favorites but also offer some updates so that you all know what's going on with me, and I think it's nice to have this in a more relaxed conversational way that's not so structured like a favorites video, at least this month. So grab a cup of something nice and a snack if you want, cozy up, and we're gonna get right into it all. So I want to start by expressing my gratitude for all of you, anybody who's watching this. I don't know what to say. I think 1,000 subscribers to me is kind of a crazy number, and one that I didn't think I would ever reach, honestly. I didn't come onto YouTube to create content with a number in mind or growing in a certain way, but I just want to say thank you to anybody watching this. I feel like I have such a warm and welcoming community around me, and it's been great to discuss ideas and hear feedback and get to know people in the comments and other creators and anybody watching this. So that's been a really wonderful experience, something that I've enjoyed immensely, and I feel like I've grown as I've created things, and it's been nice to get to know a lot of you. So I'm very, very thankful, and I have intentions to do a giveaway at some point. I've recently relocated, at least temporarily, and so the giveaway will probably be when I head back home and am more settled in and am able to mail things out and get supplies around for a giveaway, because I have some ideas in mind. So stay tuned for that. But thank you so much to everyone. Thank you. Another, I guess, update is that I have temporarily relocated, and it's something that I had intentions of doing for the past few weeks, I guess. And I think I just wanted to get some space to feel more in tune and in touch with myself, to feel centered, to maybe gain some clarity, and to have an experience that felt very pure in a way. It's really just this time to take for myself, by myself, to feel more clear and grounded and appreciative and to recharge in a way. And so I'm really thankful that I have the opportunity to be able to do this for myself, and that I am where I am. And it's been really great so far. I don't think I'll be here for a very long time. It might be a few more days, a week or two, but I don't expect it to be much longer than a few weeks. But it's been really great to just get away a little bit and to have some time with myself, by myself. And so I'm very thankful and appreciative of that. Another thing I wanted to share are, of course, the decks that I brought, and these are going to be my favorites as far as decks go. And I guess there might be some disappointment. This might be a little bit anticlimactic and boring, but I really only brought one deck with me. Technically I brought two, but I really just brought the Thoth deck, this version that you've seen if you've watched any of my videos a bunch of times, and then I brought my more travel-sized kind of knockaround version of the Thoth that I trimmed. So these are the only decks I have here. This is all I felt the need to bring, and I think I'm really starting to appreciate and yearn for more simplicity and minimalism. And actually the sight of all of my decks and the clutter of my material goods was part of what made me feel like I needed to get away. And so in doing so, at first I looked at decks and considered which ones I would bring, because I'm not sure how long I'm going to be away. And then I thought, I really just need one deck. I'm a reader. I just need one deck to be able to read for myself and others. And so, of course, without a shadow of a doubt, it was the Thoth deck for me. And I'm very happy to have, I guess, felt okay with just going away with one deck. I don't think if I'd gone away a few weeks ago or a few months ago that I would have felt capable of just bringing one deck with me, but I have. And I may be away, but I'm still accepting client readings, so if anybody wants to book one of those, you will get your reading with the Thoth, although if I were home, you would probably get your reading with the Thoth deck as well. But I always have my website and email linked down below. My website has a few offerings, but I could really customize a reading around most inquiries, so if you're curious, just shoot me an email. But while I'm here, I am still doing client readings, so don't feel like you can't try to book a reading with me. If in fact I have plenty of time to do those sorts of things, to have client readings, so that's exciting as well. But yeah, the favorite is really just the Thoth deck, and I think my time spent in just working with this deck without the distraction and noise that I think having a lot of decks creates has given me more of a deep and meaningful connection with this deck and the imagery, and turning to it for all sorts of inquiries and just flipping through the cards and using them in a more mindful way that feels more intentional. And so I am really enjoying my sort of alone time with the Thoth and having left the other decks at home. And I think that when I get back, I do have the intention of clearing out a good portion of my collection. I'm not sure how I'm going to go about that and to what extent that's going to take place, but that is part of something I think I need to do and would like to do, just because the amount of decks and items I have has been giving me a lot of anxiety recently, and that has led up to me feeling the need to get away a bit. So when I go back, I'd like to remedy that in the way I see fit. So the deck of the month, and the only deck I have right now, is the Thoth, so that's a big favorite for me. Next, as far as favorites go, I guess we'll go through books. So the first book I read and finished this month and absolutely loved, I think this is one of the best books I've read in a very long time, is Wild Seed by Octavia Butler. And I highly recommend this book. Anybody who is just looking for a wonderful story, I will say that it's not an easy read as far as the events that happen, the things that take place, there's a lot of, I wouldn't say things that are harder to read. I would offer a trigger warning. I think that there's a lot in here that can be unsavory or hard to handle, especially if you have trauma of your own that you're dealing with. There are, I would say, within here, subject matter of rape and sexual assault and violence and abusive relationships, and all of that takes place, so do take it with a grain of salt if you're going to read this book, but I think it's really a valuable one to have read. And this book, I don't want to offer too many spoilers, but I really enjoyed it. It follows the story of the character Anyanwu, I hope I'm saying that correctly, and Doro. So Doro's kind of the antagonist, and Anyanwu's more of the protagonist, but we get equal parts of their perspective over the course of many years, so it's broken into almost segments in a way, and it takes place over generations, lifetimes, hundreds of years actually, and it's very, very interesting. I don't want to give too much away, but I think if you're looking to gain a perspective in many ways, based on my research, this is very much noted for being a feminist text, so I really enjoyed that aspect of it, and I think anybody looking to read something along those lines would. Likewise, I think it's a great way to diversify your bookshelf a little bit, and as far as authorship goes, and I learned that this is actually a prequel to a series or set of books that feature, I believe, similar or the same characters and similar themes. So this was written, I believe, in 1980, and that there are 4 books that were written before this that take place chronologically after in a timeline, but this gives a good background. So I think that this is a good place for me to have started, and if you're looking to get into Octavia Butler's work, that this might be a good place to start. I saw it in a Barnes & Noble's out on display, and it caught my eye, and I picked it up to read maybe the first page or two to see if I'd like it, and then I had suddenly read the first 3 chapters, and to me that was a strong indicator that I would like the book. So highly, highly recommend. Give it a look. So next we have Aleister Crowley, Revolt of the Magicians by Lon Milo Duquette and James M. Bratkowski. And this is a novel, actually, not an instructional text or magical text of any sort. I mean, to me, novels are magical texts. I learn and feel enriched and enlivened by novels, and so to me, novels are just as instructional and pivotal in my magical practice as any other book. But this one is written in the format of a novel. This was actually suggested to me by Hanny from Fierce and Pretty. She has a bunch of great book recommendations, and she's super knowledgeable, so check her channel out as well. But she recommended this book to me, and as somebody who is a fellow Thoth geek who loves to know the background and inner workings of the Golden Dawn, ceremonial magic, Crowley, and his life experience, this is a great one. Of course, it is fictional, but a lot of the characters were real, so there are elements of fantasy interspersed and some creative liberties taken, but Lon Milo Duquette, to the best of my knowledge, is very well acquainted with the characters in the book, like Crowley and Lady Frida Harris, and he has a lot of knowledge in that area. So you get a little sense of personality and storyline that accompanies actual events that took place, and then of course there's elements of fantasy thrown in. But we get Crowley, we get Lady Frida Harris, we see Bram Stoker, Yeats, Mathers and his wife, so there are a lot of characters. So if you're somebody who's interested in any of that and looking to read a story where all of those characters are featured in a way that seems very realistic but with elements of fantastical magic thrown in, this is definitely a great read. It's a quick read too. I think the pages are kind of spaced out. I found myself being able to work through it relatively quickly, and it was just a really wonderful story, and it kind of adds to my database of the Thoth and ceremonial magic and all of those things that I find myself interested in. So definitely recommend this one, and thank you to Hanny for recommending it to me. And the final book I read this month, and I don't think this will be a surprise, but I felt compelled to bring it with me on this trip, is the Book of Thoth. The Book of Thoth. And this is not my first time reading this, of course. This is more like my third time reading this, and I'm always kind of referencing it, but yeah, it's my third time reading it, and I think every time I do, I find more, I understand more. The bits in the text that maybe confused me or were lost on me in my first or second read through, I now understand and can tie to a practice or a tradition or a myth or something that I've read in another book or through my experiential knowledge in the Thoth. And so I think rereading the Book of Thoth for anybody who is a user of the Thoth deck is highly beneficial, and I would recommend it. And I think it's one of those books that just keeps on giving the more you read it. So I've really enjoyed my again, another read through this one. And I didn't bring too many magical materials or other items with me traveling. I packed pretty light. I have just 3 basic crystals. I actually didn't bring my travel altar, which is funny because it's a travel altar and it's compact, and then I packed all my bags and threw all these items in just to discover that I very literally did not have room for that little travel altar. So I brought 3 crystals, just a heart-shaped rose quartz palm stone, a clear quartz palm stone, and a little amethyst piece. And I just keep these around for meditation and centering when I'm trying to set intentions and to feel more grounded and centered and at peace. And I've also been bringing them to the beach, and while I kind of lounge and relax and feel restored by the waters, I'll hold on to these crystals, and in that way they have been just helpful little touchstones for me. I do like to have palm stones around to have a sort of tactile experience that feels very meditative and centering. And so next, the only other magical, where'd that go? Oh, there. The only other magical materials I have, I just brought this little Gabriel prayer card. And so it has a little prayer to him and a picture of him, along with this coin that has Gabriel on it and a little sort of prayer on the back as well. And I've just been keeping these around by my bedside. They make me feel comforted with my work with Gabriel, so I feel like he's with me, and it was just something I kind of threw in. I was actually using this, I kind of put it in between as a bookmark, so that way it traveled more safely and easily, and then I just chucked this one in my bag. And yeah, so I guess I'm just showing you the sorts of metaphysical type things I brought with me on this trip. So the last items that I have to share are bracelets, actually, and these were sent to me by a lovely subscriber who is also a client and I would say a friend. Her name is Amy Simon. I asked her if I could include these in the video and have her send me links to where you might be able to purchase these. She sent them to me so kindly and with so much love and intention, and it meant so much to me, and they're beautiful, and so I want to share them, and I've been wearing them recently. So I will have links below to where you can browse Amy's work and purchase some of her work. And so this is the one that I'm wearing today. These are such great quality. This is not sponsored in any way. I wasn't paid or asked to say anything. In fact, Amy actually didn't really was like, oh, don't feel the need to speak about these, but I've been loving them, and so I asked her if I could speak about them, and so I am. So Amy, if you're watching this, thank you so much. I know we already exchanged messages via email, but these really mean a lot. So they're just such great quality. This one is petrified wood, and they come with this sheet that lets you know the sort of properties of the crystals and stones that are included. This one to me is really awesome, and I feel like it matches what I'm wearing, so I'm wearing this one today. She also sent me this blue lace agate one, and it has blue lace agate with labradorite beads surrounding it, and labradorite is one of my favorite stones, so that works just perfectly, and this color tone is amazing, and it works with a lot of the things I wear. And then she also was kind enough to send this one. This one is tourmalated quartz, and so I believe that the black beads are tourmaline, and I think that these more gunmetal colored silvery ones are hematite. I could be wrong. And then you get this really beautiful, like these, it's just such great quality, and the selection she sent is so much my style, and all of them work with an outfit that I'm wearing in one way or another, so it's perfect. So I'm really enjoying them. Thank you so much, Amy. It means so much that you sent these, and I'm really, really enjoying them and wearing them all the time. So that takes us through my tangible favorites, and I guess as far as experiential favorites go, just having come down and had a little bit of a retreat for myself in an area that is so beautiful, and taking time by the water to feel restored has been amazing, a big favorite for me as well. And I'm always finding that I'm somewhere close to water in one way or another. I live very close and near to the beach when I'm at home, and that's where I was born and raised. And now I am also near a beach again, and to me, the water, the ocean, the sea is very restorative and healing and transformative. And so it feels fitting that I come here to get away for a bit and to get in touch with myself and gain some clarity as far as who I am and where I'd like to go in the future. I hope you are all doing well and feeling centered and in touch with yourselves and gaining the clarity that you might need, especially during these times. I had a great month. I'm having a great month, so that means so much. Like and subscribe if this was fun and interesting. Let me know how you are all doing, the things you're enjoying, and the experiences you're having. I'd be very curious. Until next time, bye.